Alright everybody, we're back. Second video. This should be relatively quick. Basically just going to show Chris how to demold the 1/6 scale critter. It's been about an hour, so it should be completely cured. So I'm going to try to angle this for you. Let's see. Alright. So basically what you're going to want to do is start just separating all the way around. You'll see it'll just let go. It just takes a little bit of strength, a little bit of effort. And this will be the back. So just kind of pull that loose. There you go. Now here's something, while it's like this, we can point out. If you remember when I was talking about the elbows and the heels, you can see where it's separated, or not where it's separated, but where the part that we poured first cured, but it's completely bonded. So I hope you can see it. It's not like getting all blurry or nothing, but you can see that there are no holes. No bubble holes or anything like that, which is a really good thing. Alright, let's get this back up. Alright, so basically when you're going to demold this, just start pulling it away. It's really all you got to do. You can see where it has a bit of flashing. You can just break that off. What helps is put your thumb on this, on that bottom one, and you can kind of lift and you can push down at the same time. Looks like the flashing kind of froze a little bit here. Let me see. So just kind of work with it, work it out. Sorry, I'm not being able to see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of breaking off some of this flashing so it's not sticking to the silicone. Sometimes that'll happen. Just break it off. You can see I'm just breaking off these pieces. That way I have a little bit more to work with. Just like that. You can see I'm starting to come out. Now basically here, just kind of pull out a little bit while you're pulling back on the top here. Pull out a little bit and you'll see that it's coming away from the arm. Do the same on the other side. And then here, basically from there, once it pops loose, I just kind of keep pulling out till it comes all the way out. And there's a critter. Like I said, you'll have some of this flashing, some of it with, you can just break it off with your hands. Some of it you'll have to probably use your Dremel, but you can see it for the most part it just breaks off. So there's the critter. You will have to clean off the mold a bit, take off any pieces of resin that still stuck to it. I always recommend doing that before casting another, just that way it doesn't get all gross. But here you can kind of see what I was talking about if you don't get in there with the pokers. I use these. You might want to use something like a coat hanger, a wire coat hanger, or a piece of wire to get further in. Just so you can get more of the nail. There's been a couple times where I didn't get a lot of the nail because I didn't get in there far enough with the little poker. So I have to Dremel down a little bit of the finger to make the nail. It just takes a little bit of work. I mean, it's, as with anything, it's not just going to be, you know, pour and done, you know. it does take a little bit of you know, artwork and ingenuity. See, like we got some more nail on this one, so you just need to Dremel a little bit, whereas this one here, you need to Dremel a little bit more. It really just depends on what you use. These have been successful in the past, but I think because I was doing a demo, I didn't get in there quick enough and far enough to get the nails before they started curing. Sometimes I will use something like this. It's just a piece of armature wire you can get from Hobby Lobby. You can just get armature wire, it bends, so you can pretty much get it to how you want it, all that good stuff. But whatever you find will work best for you. Like I said, it's kind of just trial and error. But you know, something like this one with the nails compared to this one, you can see the difference in the length of nails. It just really depends on what you use and how quick you are. You know, I mean, just you can look at the hands and see how difficult it is to kind of get down in there just because of the angles. And let me use this one, it's a little easier. You know, but look at the angles of the fingers and the thumb, so it's a little tricky to get down in there. But you know, this one isn't wasted. You know, I can just Dremel a little bit here and it'll have longer nails. So it's just a matter of doing a little bit of work once you've actually cast it and, you know, got it out of the mold. But and you can see the sorry for all the shaking, the side by side of using smooth cast to the clear. Now I will say this, there is one benefit to using the clear. You can do it with smooth cast as well, the 300, but with 325 you can actually get this stuff, which is a liquid pigment, and mix that in with your resin before you mix the two resin. Like, you'll mix it with part A and you mix it and it'll tint the resin black, which would really help, so you don't have to paint a full black base coat, which is what I start with. I start with a full black base coat. Only issue with that is if you have to do any Dremel work, you still may end up having to spray a little bit. But yeah, as far as that, that's how it goes. Typically, I spray paint the entire thing black, even the teeth, because it needs a good base coat with kind of like a primer. Don't use a gloss or anything like that. Use a black primer. That way the airbrush or the acrylic paints actually have something to stick to. And don't be too heavy-handed with the paints, with your spray paints, or else you'll get the little drips and the runs on the in the paint on here, and you have to do more work. Just mist it, coat it, mist it, coat it. You know, if you've ever painted anything before, you know what I'm talking about. I do airbrush multiple colors, so sometimes, like out here on the skin, I'll go gray, a little light gray spots or light gray stripes, tiger stripes on the skin here. Use a red for the eyes. You can use a Sharpie or even a real fine, a really fine paintbrush with black paint to do the pupil. The teeth, you've seen some of the finished ones. The teeth, I just go in and I do a white airbrush all the way around, and then the gum line, I just really lightly go with a red. on the gum lines to give it the red look. And then of course white for the nails. You can add some epoxy, clear epoxy here on the teeth and the eyes and even the nails to kind of give it a shiny look, a little bit more realistic. I mean, these are not to scale, so realism isn't really perfected, but there are different things you can test out and, you know, work to your own advantage. But you can get super creative with these things. Like I said, drilling these out for glass eyes is very difficult and time consuming, but it can be done. You just got to be really careful you don't drill out through here the eyelids and stuff like that. It's pretty tricky. It took me about, I don't know, it took me months to perfect it, and I still kind of mess it up now and then. So I don't recommend it, but they look great with painted eyes. Painted eyes, I don't recommend using a airbrush. Just use a paintbrush, real small paintbrush. I sent one of these kits to my sister-in-law Kathy, and she did a really cool kind of paint up on it. I can send you pictures of it. Really interesting stuff. But anyway, so like I said, get creative. It does take a little bit of work to get it poured, and a little bit of ingenuity and creativity with a Dremel. So like here on this nail, I would Dremel back a little bit on the finger, still leave a little bit of that finger bulge to you know, so the nails don't blend in perfectly with the finger. But it just takes a little bit of work and ingenuity and creativity. Like I said, with I just used the clear for this demo purpose. Some of it's kind of hard to see where your seam, well, you know, the difference in the colors. You can see what cured first to what cured second, so you can kind of see your seam line. The white tends to be a little easier, so you can see the details as well as the seam line. So yeah, so that's it. I'll upload this video as well, so hopefully that helped. And like I said, it's first few might be a little bit of trial and error. I can also send you some links to where I buy some resin from on Etsy. It's actually cheaper, so like you get 25 to 30 bucks for a smooth cast 300 trial kit. For 50 bucks you can get a gallon of white resin from this place I buy on Etsy. You can also get clear. The whole point is trying to save money, trying to save materials, and yeah, get creative. All right, well, there you go. Thanks, everybody.